And here he is, back again, boys. Everyone's favorite ego-driven, self-obsessed, takes no responsibilities, never right, lying, boss, pirate. I did not have any mana after using all of my skills at random things that didn't matter. Software is once again being the best locale that anyone could ever ask for. It's been 100 days, and he is still getting hate for no apparent reason whatsoever. Completely unjustified, by the way. And now he's talking with Dr. K, and this is pretty hilarious.
The nerve that you, so what I'm getting is that you struck a nerve. You really.
And the context of this conversation is they're talking about how this started, how his career got completely destroyed and demolished by his own actions, and what led up to it, like what happened. And needless to say, obviously our boy Thor is not taking a single bit of accountability. It's actually hilarious.
Pissed a lot of people off. And running away in a hardcore wipe, like a hardcore raid that is wiping, I do not think is the nerve that you struck. Does that make sense?
No. It was the fact that I was smug on the way out, because I made the comment that I made was made with a smug face, right? Because like at that point it was like the group had already wiped once.
The levels of not taking any accountability for your actions, they're kind of crazy here, okay? Because he said, because I was smug. He's omitting, by the way, so many things. We're not going to go over all of them, only the fun ones. But look at what he's saying here. He's saying, because I was smug. Well, actually, because I wasn't smug. I just did it with a smug face. Man, that is like 2 layers of removing responsibility from yourself. That is insane.
We were in the process of wiping again, and I'm like, dude, like everybody who's involved in this is screwing up. Why are you calling out just me specifically? I'm gonna make a small.
That's a lie. He was not called out specifically. He wasn't really called out. The only thing that was told to him is, "Pirates, stop running," because everyone is, trying to get out, but they're helping each other and shit. But he's right there in literal Africa.
Smug comment and response, and then it turned into, "This is just this guy's fault. It's just my fault."
That's not what it turned out to. By the way, he's doing this conversation to save his career. And all that this is gonna do is fan the flames even more. This is how dumb this guy is, right? Because everyone who followed the situation knows that everything he is currently saying is missing so many layers of other things that happen in between. He's just saying things that make it out everyone else's fault yet again, not his.
Couldn't have made a smug comment for it. Know that, obviously, but
everyone after this disaster talked about it. They admitted their own faults, except this guy. Everyone was like, "Yeah, I could have done more. Yeah, I fucked up. I did this wrong. I did that wrong. Blah 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 blah." And this guy's like, "I did nothing wrong. I don't know what you people want from me. I was perfect." Great stuff, right?
The response for this to be 100 days of this and all these crazy allegations being made against me, doesn't make sense.
So
100 days. By the way, yeah. We I don't remember when we last talked about our boy Thor, the local extraordinaire, but I mean, it has been 100 days, and he's still on it. By the way, he's still continuing to do it because he this is what ego-driven people just constantly do. They can't admit anything being their own fault, and he does not. And he legitimately probably believes that this is in no way his fault. That he was in the right, because this is what megalomaniacs effectively do. Nothing can be their own fault because they're perfect.
You made you made the smug comment on stream?
Oh yeah, no, all this was live.
Okay, so this was live. And then was there some kind of aftermath? So usually when this stuff happens, it's like, if things go to Twitter, that's when people, I think.
By the way, I have seen already all of this. I have seen to 1 hour in, and then it kind of fucking gets boring, and I stopped watching. But I specifically marked down this spot because it's just he's omitting so much. He's effectively as close to lying as you can be without actually lying because he's just omitting everything.
Really dig themselves into a hole.
No, it didn't go to like I posted a post on Twitter saying, "Hey, this is all this stuff." I said in there like, "Hey, this, everybody screwed up, including myself. This is everything that was going on," and that was that. And I have the
that's the thing about backtracking 5 times. In this whole saga, he backtracked like 3 times that no, actually nothing was my fault. No, I'm not kidding. I'm not. If you don't know this, again, this is literally multiple hours of stuff that has happened. But in that period, he 2 or 3 times literally said, "Okay, maybe I did something wrong," and then when pressed on it, he's like, "No, actually, nothing's my fault." This happened 2 or 3 times.
The post, if we can go pull it up, let me go grab it. Whoop.
So what I'm curious about is the people who got mad at you at the beginning. I'm not talking about the death threat, folks. The people who got mad at you at the beginning.
I don't believe that there were any threats like that. He completely overblew all of this.
Beginning, what were they mad about?
They were mad that I was being smug. That was like the general.
Every single person, as one, after this happened, said that no one even mentioned the word smug. Like, he cannot admit it. Because he sounds like an egocentric asshole. That's what it was. He took no responsibility. He cannot admit any fault of his own. It's impossible for him.
Initial catalyst for it. The problem was what I ended up seeing is a whole bunch of content creators, because this is a content guild. They took a whole bunch of clips.
By the way, this is also kind of hilarious because when something happens to other people, he can talk about it. But when it happens to him, this whole thing that's designed around being a content farm, then you shouldn't talk about it. That's bad, okay? When it happens to someone else but Pirate, you can do it. But when it's Pirate, that's just too far, okay? That's going too far. You should stop. You can't talk about his bad things, okay?
Of me to make it look as exaggerated as possible and then turn that into content all over the internet. And they kept pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. Since there's so many content creators.
Yes. By the way, this is also a thing. He's effectively calling all of us stupid because you see, we're the low IQ, brain dead individuals. Obviously, by the way, obviously. But we're just slightly more evolved apes, right? All of us just misunderstood the situation, okay? All of us got played by this shadowy cabal of content creators that just, in a literal less than 5 minutes, all came together and decided to try and end an innocent, poor little old, always right PirateSoftware's career by lying and making him look bad. Yeah.
Is pushing it at the same time to try and get as many views as possible. It pushed this narrative, and that spiraled it completely out of control. And when I say making content out of it, one of those creators actually had his child on video with the face blurred out say, "PirateSoftware is a disgusting roach." Like,
based.
This is wild shit. That's not a smart.
Wait, isn't that Quinn? Wasn't that Quinn 69?
Creator, that's like thousands of viewers, right? So you see this kind of shit, and you're just like, "What's wrong with you, man? Like, why are you?"
I don't know. Sounds like a pretty funny thing. Oh no, he made a child call me a roach. Heavens.
You doing this? I get it. That's why I put out the video of like anything for views. And it's like, dude, I get that you're trying to do this for views, but you're doing it to cannibalize people around you in the same space as you. That's not sustainable long term. Maybe they don't.
Who are you? But by the way, this is also a very stupid argument because 1, who the hell are you to decide what is right and what is wrong? 2, this has happened previously. The only reason now you're pissed is because it's about yourself. He's a classic example of people who can dish it out but can't take it.
I don't care that it's sustainable or not, but that's fucked up. I don't think there's any other way I can describe that, is to try to cannibalize some other creator so you can get a quick view, is nuts to me, man. Especially
Except that the fact that he has done it.
because throughout that event, I was trying to do things like, hey,
Also, especially because, he's in a guild that's literally kind of designed around that.
let's go make content with this other creator. I was sending our community over to other people. Like one of the people.
This is one of the best. Okay, this by the way kind of elevates his arrogance to a whole different level. This take that he's gonna give now.
That actually turned around and just immediately tried to turn it into memes and views and everything like that and try and go in on me. We had the whole community go over there and gave him a level 25 hype train. Like, just, hey, you guys should support this dude. He's a smaller stream. He's got like 100 viewers. Go and support him. And everybody jumped over there and it was like $20,000 in a hype train, dude. And then
20?
Immediately switches around and does that shit. And it's like, what? Like, what's wrong with you?
So, if you don't know who this guy is, it's kind of funny. One thing that Dr. K does is pretends that he has not scoped out the people who he does interviews with or sessions. I don't know what you call it, but he does. Okay, he always pretends that he doesn't know what's happening, and he always tries to be as kind to them as possible. He never wants to say anything bad about them, and he's clearly struggling because what our boy PirateSoftware literally just said is, "Hey, you stupid pleb in the mud. I literally just gave you views. Because of me, you just got money. And you dare do anything that's negative towards me? I literally own you." That's his stake. And now he needs to be like, how do I call this guy not completely fucking insane, okay? How do I call him not a jack in the box at this point? Because that's what he said. This is like, again, his egocentrism just got elevated because of this sentence. Oh, I did a good thing for you? How dare you? How dare you ever go against me, okay? I tossed you a piece of fucking bread. And now you dare to be bad against me? I didn't allow you this. I own you now. This is effectively his mindset. Which, again, I mean, I would expect this from him, but man, for him to just legitimately say that's wild.
Yeah, so I know this is going to sound weird, Thor, but like I'm getting some missing qualities here. Have you heard that phrase? So,
yeah.
Do you know what missing means?
No.
The missing reasons?
Have you heard this phrase before? Which actually is a question. Do you know what that means? He says yes. Do you know when? And then he's like, "Oh, really? I just made it the fuck up. How do you even know that?" And he's like, "Oh, no." That's just the small thing, but it's funny.
So I mean, we can take a look at your Twitter post if like. So I mean, I think we've actually got a couple of options here. So like, I enjoy talking to you. I like you. I respect you. I think that sometimes streamers make mistakes, and at the same time, I think that something about what you're describing feels like there's a chunk that's missing. So I totally
think it's because it's all.
By the way, he's constantly bringing his up because he can't really bring up the fact that this guy is just not taking any of his accountability. Because his goal is actually kind of to theoretically help him. And if you want to help people in that way, which I think this is a giant waste of time, by the way, obviously, but you kind of need people to come to the understanding themselves. So this is why he can't ever say you're a fucking egotistic, narcissistic asshole. He can't say that. He needs to guide the conversation in a way where he needs to be like, I don't understand what's happening. Oh, maybe I'm an asshole here. Wow, because that's the only thing left. And, by the way, in these 13 minutes, it's 13 minutes in. This attempt has been made already like 6 or 8 fucking times. And it's every single time he's like, oh, this is where you understand that you did something wrong. And Todd's like, I don't understand. Like, he is a true megalomaniac.
Disconnected, timeline-wise.
Okay.
I guess it's hard to describe each individual piece. So the event inside of that dungeon happened. Then afterwards, I got brought into a call with the person who called me out. I left the call because he was shouting
No. He's lying about this, okay? He left the call because he was like, no, I did everything right. Fuck you. You're trash.
over me. And I was like, I don't want to deal with this. I'm not going to have a fight with you. I don't want to deal with it. And I left.
Lies.
So that kind of made that more. And then content creators started to make a big deal about it. I started to receive death threats in the game from other players. And I said on stream,
pretty sure this is lies.
I'm going to start reporting people for doing this shit. I'm going to go after them. That got clipped, sent out onto the internet. And then when people sent that out on the internet, they tried to say that I was going after other streamers.
So first of all, he actually did go after 2 other streamers. He reported them for Twitch terms of service violations, and they got banned, I think. But I don't know if about that. I actually don't know. He could have actually been in the right. I'm not 100% sure. But the thing he is not telling you here, because this is also a thing that people are really pissed about him, which again just further alleviated how much of an ass this guy is. What he is not telling you about this situation is that he made a script that automatically captures all of the names of people who are whispering him bad things. It's automated, and it's very basic. It's like, if anyone mentions the word, I don't know the details, but it's like, if anyone mentions the word man or something like that to him, he just copies their names, and then he uses his connections, ex-connections from being a Blizzard employee, to send to admins for them to specifically try to ban these people. Okay? He's not just reporting them for harassment. No. He is using his connections from his time at Blizzard in an automated way where he doesn't actually care if someone gets caught in the crossfire, and he's gonna attempt to ban all these people for being mean to him, even though if he automated the process and he doesn't know if everyone's even being mean to him. That's what he did.
In reality, I was going after the people who were sending me death threats, and the only streamers that I reported were ones that had done things like said on stream, I'm going to go to PirateSoftware's community and harass him because I think it's good content, saying that live.
I never heard that part, by the way. Watching this video was the first time I heard that. The content creators that he reported, I heard, was for doxing, but I'm not 100% sure. And now this is a completely different version.
Live on stream, which is like 2 or 3 people. And I don't think...
And again, if you ask me, who do I believe? Crack addict on, a fentanyl overdose or Tor? I'm gonna probably pick, obviously, the crack addict. Way more reliable source.
That's a wrong thing to report. So they clipped that one, and this all kind of got spread onto livestream fail and all these little pieces.
Yes, and every single person who watched this, because again, everyone but Thor is a brain-dead monkey, obviously. We obviously got baited because, we're just idiots who gullibly take everything said on the internet at face value, and we never question things. And it was posted on live stream fails. Guess it's fucking true, because no one has ever questioned the validity of anything. And, so we just bought into the lies. When I phrase it like this, you start to understand, even if you're on PirateSoftware's side, which is objectively the moron side, by the way, you start to understand how absolutely insane this guy is and what he is saying. Okay, literally everyone but him in this conversation so far is a brainless dolt, and he is just being somehow magically targeted by the Illuminati at this point.
Out of context, I guess the basic way to think about it is, imagine you're driving your car, and there's a guy sitting in the side seat, and he handcuffs you and takes control of the wheel, and you just get to watch the car drive, and no one will listen to you saying, hey, I'm not driving the car. This isn't accurate. They don't listen to that anymore. They just see your car driving in that direction. So they've taken full control of the narrative at that point, and I can't do a damn thing about it. And that's what happened on Livestream Phil. And we get that all the time now, too. So, like, anything that I do on stream, this will probably be clipped out of context and put up on Livestream Phil as well. I'm not really surprised if something like that is.
Lies.
And they'll bring it up and go and do that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Now, will someone post something on Livestream Fails? For sure. Will people just magically though assume it's fucking true and not question it and make it the peak of their life? No, absolutely not.
Does that make sense?
No.
Or there's still more?
I would love to hear what else there is. And I think what bothers me the most about this is
Yeah, he doesn't even know what to exactly say here. He does not know how to start the conversation in a way that he would question himself. Because all of this, everything that he has stated, has completely absolved himself of any responsibility of any actions. Every bad thing that's happening to him is just him being good and some random people deciding that they're gonna be evil against him.
this is making sense for me on two major levels. One of which I think is, I'm just debating now for a second, because I think one of the things that I'm starting to hypothesize, I just really have to think about this.
All right.
Could really add fuel to the fire. So I have to think about whether I even want to mention that or not. So let's start with just getting more context.
Sure. So after all that live stream fail stuff went off, eventually it started to kind of fall away. But then anytime anything happened with live stream fail, anything, or anytime anything happened with OnlyFans, the guild, I'd get blamed for it. They would think that they thought it was part of some kind of a narrative that I would show back up, and it was like a bit. The whole thing.
This is lies, by the way.
Was a bit, and all the hate was a bit. And I was like,
now, granted, he did get mentioned, but again, it's because his reaction to this was so insane and hardcore and needless to say, over the top. Okay, the fact that he banned people in his chat and all the stuff that he did just made it even more of a meme. He just became instantaneously the laughing stock. It's like going on a stroll, tripping, and then calling down a nuclear bombardment on the area. This is what he effectively did. And yeah, he was a conversation for a month. I enjoyed it very thoroughly. Thank you.
Like, no, I don't want to be a part of this. I'm out. I don't I got kicked from the guild. I don't want to deal with any of this. I don't want to be a part of this. And then somebody actually DDoSed Blizzard in the middle of one of the OnlyFans raids to kill the raiders. So they DDoSed a multi-billion-dollar company, which is wild.
It's not wild. Blizzard gets DDoSed actually pretty much like once a month. And has been for years.
That's crazy to me. So they DDoS that, and then I had a ton of people dive into chat saying like, "Oh, you did it. Why did you DDoS OnlyFans? Why did you go after OnlyFans?" And
so, this is true. People did say that, but the thing is, everyone obviously knows that it's not him. Everyone's just laughing about the timing because he has a history of DDoSing. By the way, if you did not know, that Maldivia's Fig Tree, aka Thor, has a history of DDoSing and doing shit like that. Okay? And that's why people are making fun of it. That's why people are instantly... No one actually thinks that he did it, seriously. But again, he's just trying to make himself look like the victim of just random evil things.
And then I found out Asmongold made a joke about that, and he was like, "Oh, it was probably PirateSoftware." And it's like, no, that has nothing to do with me. And I said it on stream. I was like,
by the way, he made it not to defend Asmongold. Asmongold was like, he watched this and said, "Yeah, PirateSoftware did everything right. There was nothing he could have done better. He is a god," because they're both covered by Night Media. So that's how that works. If you're wondering, by the way, if you don't know what Night Media is, have fun digging that up, because that's going to be wild. But anyway, I like how he throws him now under the bus, because, again, he even says he joked about it. Everyone knows these are jokes. And he's like, oh, the obvious jokes that people are doing? They're trying to get me. Yeah, again, the whole world is out to get him. Because he's such a marvelous, special snowflake that does no wrong, and everyone just is naturally attracted to hating him. Makes sense, right?
You can't make those jokes people believe them. They just believe it. And it's,
yeah, again, this is what the third, fourth, justification that we, the people, are just brain damaged and we can't think for ourselves. 10 out of 10.
It's not everybody. Most people realize that a joke, but some people just believe that shit and then they run with it. You know, and that's kind of where that's gone. Yeah. It's
now this is again, he's just wildly okay, the people who don't believe this is a joke and think it's real are insane. Those are and if you're gonna say, oh, you can't make jokes because the insane 1% of the population is gonna take it seriously, well, that means you also can't make jokes. But you do, because we choose to not care about the insane 1% population of the world.
It's one of the most disturbing things that I've seen. And in my chat right now, we're actually banning constant. So this is definitely already up somewhere.
What are you banning people for?
People that come in and say, like, calling me a roach, because the act of running out of a dungeon is called roaching in the game. Still 100 days. It's been 100 days.
Also, I got to 1 hour and 30 minutes or something like that in this video. Not at one point he's even mentioning the guy he wanted to sue and falsely DMCA his game on Steam, because you know what I'm talking about, or you don't, and it doesn't matter. But you know, he doesn't mention any of this.
People that are spamming Mana Gem, which is the resource item that I could have used in the game at that time, just over and over again. See, they're just getting banned constantly. It's just like a constant stream of bans right now. And I knew that was going to happen.
And again, the Mana Gem thing. He's not going to say, oh, I actually had plenty of mana. So he had a Mana Gem. He also again, this is what he's omitting here. He had a Mana Gem. He had plenty of mana. He just constantly chose to use skills that he shouldn't do when he was almost out of the instance. Like, from his point of view, you can literally see in the clips that he is at the exit. Literally right there, staring it into the face. And he's like looking back, and at that moment, he fully understands that he fucked up. He should have stayed, because, I mean, he can get out pretty easily. He's not casting shit, okay? And he just left everyone to die, or, well, whatever, honestly, right? And at that point, he understands that he fucked up. And they start talking about him being dead and him needing to help, and he's like, oh, I can't. Clicks battery, clicks ice block, ice wall. No, ice barrier. There we go. Ice barrier, and it's like, oh, I'm out of mana. I can't even help you. Like, he does his best to make himself not have any mana, so he doesn't take any responsibility for that. And it's visible even for the dumbest of people.
How do you understand that?
How do I understand what?
Why that's happening so much?
Yeah, again, everything that he's trying to do is very simple. Just, he describes a situation, and he needs to get PirateSoftware to somehow think, wait a minute, is it my fault? So that's why he's asking, how do you understand the situation? Why is it occurring? And he legitimately just doesn't understand it. Okay? This is somewhere later. I did not mark this down, but I should have marked it with a timestamp. But that is the most hilarious part of this whole conversation. Maybe it's soon, maybe it's 1 hour, and I don't remember. But Dr. K asks PirateSoftware. Okay? He asks PirateSoftware a very simple question. If people are mad at you because of X, and you fix X, and in this case, X is like you admit fault, you blah blah blah, do things like this. He asks, and you remove this X. X is no longer a thing. You remove the reason why people are mad about you. What happens then? And I'm like, holy shit! This is a sentence that PirateSoftware could he has to understand that he's not taking accountability, so the problem is still there. That's why people are still hating en masse. And Pirate Software, you know what his answer is to what happens when you remove the thing that people are angry about? Timestamp this and write in the comments. What do you think the answer he gave to that question? What do you think it is? Is it A, the obvious one that everyone here is thinking if you stop and think for a little bit? And the answer to A is obviously, well, if you remove the reason for people being mad about something, people stop being mad about it, right? Completely normal logic. Makes sense. Everyone knows that's true, right? You know what his answer was? They get madder. Yes. When you remove the thing that people are mad about, Pirate Software is gonna say they get madder. He didn't even hesitate to answer that. And Dr. K says yes. And then he's like, wait, what? You said they get madder? Well, he didn't say that, but he never thought that it's possible to answer to that question in that way. It's insane. It's insane. Pirate Software is just... It is what it is. Anyway, that was Healthy Gamer GG. That was Dr. K. By the way, don't like him. He's not a great person at all. Have a nice day. Bye.